Over the years, we've had a number of groups implement the Oasis web technologies where they take shipping information and push it out to their customers using the Oasis website. With Oasis version 2.7, we've made the process of collecting shipping information way easier than it was in the past. Now, you still have to look up the purchase order, and you can use the sales order number from the factory, the invoice, however you can get the information to identify the purchase order. We still have to go to the PO and open it up. Next, we'll click on the Items tab, and this is where we collect shipping information on the order. One way is to simply click on the Add Shipping link underneath the row that I would like to update, and I'll just add in my sales order number from the factory. And I'll continue to do that on the next line, where I can add a different number, even identify that it is shipped. And one trick is to use the little pop-up calendar and identify that it shipped yesterday from Dallas. And it'll ask me as I go through this whether whether the order status should change from order to ship as this case. I'll identify UPS and whatever the tracking number is there. I can also do some tricky things as well that used to take a little bit of effort in the past. Rather simply, if I want to split the line, or as we now say, add factory item, it will add two lines underneath the main line here, and I can say housings, trims, and make any other adjustments I'd like. Now the housings, I'll identify them as having shipped under the existing order yesterday, Dallas, and let's say it's shipped under a different tracking number just for grins. The trims, on the other hand, are scheduled to ship next week. And that is how you apply shipping information to an order. Now that shipping information has been recorded on the order, we can show a few other neat tricks within the new version of Oasis. One is, if I'd like to hide all the shipping information, I can click on this brown icon at the top and it hides it for me real fast. Which, by the way, I can also show you some neat things on the new toolbar. Your screen is most likely going to be a little bit larger, and we've designed the order screen to be more useful under larger screens. But if you need to make that taskbar go away, just simply click on the little spyglasses there and it'll show or hide it. But this does allow me to do little things like hide all my internal notes or make them show. I can toggle all, which really compresses the bill of material, which can be useful if you have a really complicated change order that needs to go out. Other neat things, we can click on the website, and if you've added the websites to your manufacturer setup, you'll receive the manufacturer website instead of ours, obviously, but for the manufacturer lines that you represent. Click on Notes. There are the notes that I have underneath the manufacturer setup for this represented vendor. Under shipment tracking, there are a number of other tools that are useful for folks adding a lot of shipping information to orders. The first is I can click on Quick Copy and copy a sales order number or the purchase order number to my clipboard. It's great if you're having to jump between Oasis and a manufacturer's website to grab shipping information. So there I pasted it in. I'll go ahead and get rid of that screen. Other options, if I have a tracking website set up for the carriers in Oasis, then if I click on it, it'll go over to that carrier's website, UPS or United Parcel Service on this one. And obviously I have a bogus number in there, but it'll apply the information and really allow you to jump on their website effectively and efficiently. If you manage shipping information on a lot of orders, eventually you will make a mistake. First, let me return the shipping lines to the screen here, and I'm going to manually set a little checkbox that allows me to identify the lines I want to do something with. So that's just our way of selecting items. And let's just get rid of them. It's okay to delete rows like that, or even if you have a errant split, I can delete splits as well. I just cannot delete the original order line. Now let's speed things up a little bit. Realistically, one order number is used by the factory to identify this purchase order from the customer. What we'll do is click Acknowledge, key in the factory's sales order number, and notice it identifies every line on the order with that same factory number. Again, I can do the same thing with a schedule. Now, I have to do one more thing. I have to select shipment lines. I will select all my lines automatically for me and identify as a schedule. The reason why we do that is that's when we normally see some of the splits happen. In other words, different sales order numbers for the same item, or definitely on tracking numbers as well. So I can identify the warehouse where it is supposedly going to ship from and the date. Hit OK, and it updates all the lines with the same information. Now I'm going to get a little more tricky. We could obviously do the same thing with the shipping information and pull the shipping information on all the lines, but I want to show one item that happens every so often. That is, if they are in the process of having to ship one shipment of 5 and another shipment of another 5 on this original line here. So what I do is I identify the first one as being a schedule to ship on the 23rd for 5 of the items, and then I click the line again. In other words, I'm not clicking the shipment line, I'm identifying the order line. And I'll click ship, key in the information as it would normally. So I'll continue with Dallas, UPS, 1Z, whatever their numbers are, and the shipment date. This identifies that 5 of them have already are scheduled to ship on the 23rd, and 5 of them have already shipped. Now, why do we do shipping information? Well, I did suggest the website, but I can also just print order status. I'll print it to PDF, which will show what would be received by a customer if you were to email it to them. And let me zoom in just a little bit here. As on the screen here, we have the first item shipped via UPS, or 5 of them have shipped, and 5 of them are released but not shipped, and they will ship on the 23rd as a schedule date. The other items are only scheduled to ship on the 23rd, and all the other information is in the system as well.